Hey up, it's Mick from Mick's Miniatures again, and another controversial subject which I get accused of, but not so much lately at my age, and that is a night on the tiles. We all like a night on the tiles, don't we? Oh, we used to. This is the latest in a series of how-to videos and the way I go about creating my scratch-built railway models of buildings and other items which may be of use to you. And having gone through various processes with the same model to demonstrate the way things are done, I've eventually worked my way up to the roof. So it really is time for a night on the tiles. So sit back and have a look, and I hope it's of use to you. This is a model you will have seen in various stages of construction if you've been following my previous videos. If you haven't seen them, they are on my YouTube channel, and the subjects really cover the wrapping, which is how we got the surfaces, and the windowsills, the windows behind. Since you saw it last, I have had it added downstairs version. There's some windows there to suggest that we've got a cafe and a recessed doorway. There's also some stone footings there as well. Going up towards the top, we've used the methods described to get downpipes and gutters. I added a chimney by just gluing a few strips of card together, and the chimneys are simply a couple of chunks cut off a barbecue skewer, again raided from the kitchen. What we need to look at now is the roof. There are various ways we can go for this. Possibly the simplest is just a sheet of printed tiles available as downloads, or you can buy sheets of this. People like Metcalf make it. This has been stuck onto thin card, and really all it needs is cutting to shape to accommodate that chimney, and that's probably the very simplest method, and it would simply fit down onto the guttering like that. There is a school of thought that says anything over 2 feet in 00 gauge, who can see it anyway? And I'm not really going to argue with that point of view if that's what does it, particularly if the model is further towards the back of a layout or part of a background scene. Another favoured method would be to take strips of those same printed tiles, cut neatly along the horizontal, and to glue them in alternating strips onto the roof surface. By this method, you're actually building up the layers, and you've actually got a surface with a texture to it rather than just a flat photographic effect. If those little bits of white look untidy, then just rub a little bit of weathering powder or something into them, so that we've got a roof with actual texture to it. You can see obviously there are horizontal lines, but the vertical lines are still flat. Again, this depends on the model you're making, where it should appear, and this does give a very good effect that I've got on certain of my other models. On this roof, for example, you can clearly see how that effect's been built up. A little bit of weathering to make sure there are no white edges showing, and I've added ridge tiles on that to finish off the effect. So using the horizontal strips, in my opinion, gives quite a decent effect to finish off this rather interesting building, which is actually based on the entrance to the Erasmus Darwin Museum opposite Lichfield Cathedral, if you think you've seen it before. If you want to go further and get into more detail, this might be of interest to you. This is a grid that I set out on an Excel spreadsheet, basically just telling it to print the lines and the character. The beauty of Excel is once you've got one line, you can copy it as many times as you like and just paste it in. So you soon got a full sheet of tiles. Another benefit of this, I save the Excel spreadsheet as a PDF so that I can print it out at any scale alike. These are for 4mm 00 gauge, and that prints at 100%, but if you print at 178%, it's quite useful for O gauge and 7mm to the foot. In O gauge, it's perhaps a bit more important to have the kind of detail that you can get with this tile effect. So we need one double row for each vertical set of tiles, and what I'm doing is making a slit along the marks so that we've got vertical divisions between the tiles as well as horizontal ones. So those vertical slits represent the gaps between the tiles, which can be seen better at larger scales. That's then cut along the upper horizontal. To give me a piece of tile work, and repeating the exercise, it can get rather repetitious. It's a tedious process, but very well worth it, I think, for the result that you get. So we've got another. Doesn't matter if these aren't exact. I've never seen a roof yet where everything was exactly right and exactly in place and everything was totally hunky-dory. Keeps roofers in a job as well when your tiles start to fall off, so that's not bad. And what we do now is, as before, those are layered up, and the horizontal lines, you can line them up, and the vertical lines obviously alternate in the way that slates are laid, and that's glued just below the other vertical, and you build that up in layers to get the effect. I usually use something like an acrylic paint to give an effect, and the acrylic on the first coat doesn't always cover the little lines, but that's no big deal because you've got a physical separation between them where you can feel the texture, but the line just adds a little bit of grubbiness where the dirt's built up between the tiles, and it does give a pretty realistic effect. This Excel spreadsheet PDF I have saved, and if anybody's interested in it, I'm quite happy to email it to them if you contact me through the YouTube comment section. So there's a rough idea of how I would build those up in situ on the model we looked at earlier, and that is in effect how I'll finish this model off. I hope this has given you some idea for a night on the tiles. Just don't go overdoing it, and remember to drink responsibly, because blades can be very, very sharp. Thanks for watching, and I hope it's given you some useful ideas. If you like it, please give the video a like and subscribe to my channel. Thanks a lot.